My dear audiophile girls and boys, welcome to the channel Audiofilos y Locos. Today I bring you the future of high-end hi-fi. It comes from the future. Okay, here I am again, Pedro. I'm gonna attempt to overdub my own videos, pretty much like a foreign documentary or a kung fu movie, a bad one that is. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it's helpful to your decisions in the future. How many times have we heard the same? Because maybe something has a DAC, or something has balanced outputs, or it has Wi-Fi that is new or the latest thing. There are hundreds of products like this. Hello? ¿Qué? ¿Que no tiene Wi-Fi? It doesn't have Wi-Fi? How's that possible? What?
Usa Bluetooth.
It uses Bluetooth.
El mismo.
Yeah.
El mismo que se usa para conectarte con
The same that you used to connect to your car and your toaster and your
refrigerador, la televisión,
your watch, your fridge, your
ese
TV.
Bluetooth.
That same Bluetooth.
El Bluetooth que tanta mala fama tiene.
The Bluetooth that such a bad reputation has for disconnecting when you go to the bathroom and you have headphones on.
Usas en tu carro para hablar
The
por
one
teléfono,
that you use
que usa una
in the car to talk on the phone. And the one that a very famous unknown brand uses.
Yo uso auriculares de
I use headphones, an inner ear phone,
para pasear a Coco.
to sleep, to walk my dog,
Y los disfruto mucho. Me
and I enjoy them.
una gran conveniencia.
It's a great convenience,
Pero para audio,
but not for audio. For high-end,
que este
turns
audio
out
empedernido,
that
regañándose en
this
discos LPs y sus
self-righteous audiophile, lost in his LPs and analog
DACs,
sound,
pues no me había dado cuenta.
was not aware
Han habido
that
pasos grandísimos
there has been some giant steps taken
en las comunicaciones.
in the Department of Communications and Bluetooth.
De hecho, la denominación Bluetooth proviene
The Bluetooth name
un rey victorioso
comes from a
este rey
Norwegian king.
de Dinamarca que se llamaba Harald Blatan.
His name was Harald Blatan.
Supongo que el Blatan es el Bluetooth.
I suppose Blatan is the Bluetooth
958 al 970. Bluetooth
from years 958 to 970.
convertido al inglés de la versión de Blatan.
That was Blatan's signature, the Bluetooth sign.
El rey Blatan goza de la fama de haber
Blatan the king
a las regiones
is known for unifying the Scandinavian region,
también se
and perhaps
que el Bluetooth
they thought that
todas las
his name will also unify all electronics.
electrónicos, las tostadoras y los refrigeradores se iban a conectar con otros.
Fridges and toasters were all just gonna love each other and together.
Pues Ericsson lo inventó para utilizar
And Ericsson
teléfonos,
was the pioneer
aplicaciones
to use it in communications technology.
con el audio. Por eso nosotros los
But we never thought it would work with audio, so that's why us audio snobs never want to go there, never want to talk about Bluetooth.
y el logo de Bluetooth en realidad
And the Bluetooth logo
del emblema de las iniciales
was actually
Harald escribía en
the initials that Harald
idioma natal.
wrote in his native tongue.
Hasta donde yo entiendo, solamente existen dos códecs
As far as I know, there's only two codecs
para música
that are
de
worth
alta definición.
using for music.
AAC, que es de Apple, y el DAC para Android y otros aparatos que fue desarrollado por Sony. Y tengo suerte porque mi teléfono Xperia
And I'm lucky because my Sony Xperia phone knows
DSD, y
that I am connected
la oportunidad de utilizar
to the iDSD. I can use AAC or LDAC.
y en el caso de el DAC,
And in the case of LDAC,
si quieres mayor calidad o
I can choose
seguridad.
better quality or a better connection.
Está el sacrificio en la cuestión
And
de
that's
Bluetooth.
the real sacrifice,
Estamos
compromise
un poco,
with Bluetooth.
pues yo voy a tener
If I'm walking my dog,
que confiabilidad
I'm gonna go for
y mis
reliability.
Bluetooth. Así que no espero tener la mejor
So I don't expect to have the best quality when I'm walking around.
cuando estoy utilizando
But what happens
una unidad como el
when I want to use
IDSD
the Neo iDSD at home
para escuchar música?
to listen to some serious audiophile stuff?
IFI no hace nada a medias.
iFi doesn't do anything half-ass. So they must be coming up with some idea. Something new, something different
En este paquete.
must be here.
Tengo entendido que el problema del
I
sistema
understand
no es solamente la
that
compresión,
one of the problems of Bluetooth
dice en inglés el
is not the compression,
la
but the latency,
de la señal. Todos hemos experimentado
the delay
estamos en el carro,
you have all experienced when you're in the car
escuchando algo a través de
and you listen to something on Bluetooth
la boca
while watching a video or something, and there's no synchronization between the mouth and the sound. That's known as latency.
y algunos aparatos
Some codecs are better than others.
rápido. El LDAC y el AAC
LDAC and AAC supposedly are superior,
no siempre se puede repetir el
but
experimento. Todo
that not always works.
procesador del receptor
It depends on the processor
del aparato que estás usando
and
para enviar
the phone
con las condiciones que
and the conditions, how far you are, how close.
así que es un reto grandísimo
It's a huge challenge
esta calidad.
to reproduce high quality music with Bluetooth.
¿Cómo
So how did iFi surpass this obstacle?
el Neo iDSD viene en su típica
Neo iDSD comes in the typical iFi high quality box,
y no sería sorpresa para nadie cuando digo que
and
la construcción es excelente.
you're not going to be surprised when I tell you that the workmanship is excellent. Yes, balanced outputs
Conexiones USB y
and single-ended USB connection.
necesitas puedes ponerlas.
And these little cross points, you can put the little feet, rubber feet.
Pero vamos a ver algo muy interesante.
Let's look at something really interesting here.
Aquí tenemos, por supuesto, otros accesorios,
Other accessories,
la unidad de
power supply.
la unidad suple un voltaje de 5 voltios.
It's a 5-volt supply.
Aquí está la pequeña
And here we have
para utilizar
a small
IDSD
base
verticalmente. Miren,
that allows you to use the Neo iDSC in the vertical position.
aquí son 3 unidades en uno.
It looks very cool.
Una unidad de alta
It's 3 units in one. High resolution Bluetooth,
te da hasta 90
wireless,
kHz de resolución
2496,
y también es un decodificador de MQA.
and it's also
A la misma vez,
MQA
decodificador
decoder
de diseño totalmente
and a headphone
balanceado.
amplifier with a complete balanced design. The biggest issue regarding Bluetooth sound quality that a lot of companies use this chip that they call the SoC, and that chip has everything. It has a converter and it makes a connection, but iFi uses a different route.
Un chip que es de Qualcomm
They have the Qualcomm chip
con la versión
that
última de Bluetooth 5.0.
with the latest 5.0
Bueno, y es capaz
codec,
de conversión digital también.
and that chip is good,
Solamente lo usan para el
but
procesamiento de,
iFi only uses it for the
por supuesto,
processing,
puede procesar todos los códigos
and then they use a separate DAC.
que existen hoy en día en Bluetooth como aptX, AC,
Of course,
LD,
aptX, LDAC,
HDC.
and many other codecs are supported.
La conversión final de digital análogo
The final conversion
con un
is done
ESS Sabre
with the ESS Saber
y
chip,
eso elimina el jitter que viene del
and that helps eliminate jitter.
la rutina de conexión es muy básica y
The connection routine is basic,
además
is
de eso, el
simple,
IDSD
and on top of that,
da la habilidad de conectar más
the iDSD
de Bluetooth
allows you to connect one more Bluetooth device in addition to the one you have on.
la conexión. Una señorita
Once you have the connection,
está conectada
a lady tells you you're connected,
y ya estamos listos para usarlo.
and now we're ready to use it.
Ahora es cuestión de configurarlo para la máxima calidad
Now it's just a matter to configure it for the highest
de la aplicación.
quality that the
También
application allows you.
unos op-amps especiales que son los mismos que
iFi use
que es mucho más cara.
very good op amps.
IDSD Black Label.
They're the same used on the
Esos
micro iDSD black label. It works really good with the Qualcomm and the Saber converter. The Neo iDSD, it's a very attractive product. If you don't want to complicate your life, you want to have a small room where you only have that with a computer, it's a very good headphone amplifier. You can move most amps, even my 650s and others with the friendly ohms will work too, although it's not as sophisticated as other IFI amps. It doesn't have the bass controls or the 3DX control, but whatever it does it really well. I really like the vertical form factor. I think it's very convenient and attractive. But you can also use it in the horizontal plane. IFI has convinced me about Bluetooth. They made me pay attention. Bluetooth can actually really work, especially in places where you don't want a lot of invasive situations. That's why many companies are making Bluetooth apparatuses, because the technology is leaping forward. I don't know if it's me or there was some firmware issue, but in the MQA mode, when I use it on title, even though the signal registers 96 kilohertz, there's no MQA display. Also, when I used it on USB, it didn't say MQA, it said OFS. Maybe it's the programming or firmware, or I'm doing something wrong. It sounds excellent either way. I just spoke to technical support, and they told me that to use it USB, you have to set it up as decoder and renderer, so it can be recognized by the system. And now it says MQA 192 megahertz. Something else I'm not sure I make clear is that you can only get MQA through the physical connection, not on Bluetooth. I highly recommend it as a converter, also as a standalone unit that allows you to connect to your phone as a very nice digital reproducer. Very solid construction, beautiful design, and the ability to use it all by itself with your phone makes it a winner. And with a pair of active speakers like my Meridians, you have a complete system. I wish they would make a Pro iDSD version, similar but cheaper. I know I asked too much, but IFI is putting out a lot of products, so you never know what they'll come up with next. The price of the Neo iDSD is $699. Thank you to IFI for sending it to me and giving me the exclusivity to review it. If you're new here, please subscribe and please help the channel with Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Of course, this applies to the main channel, the Audiofilos y Locos in Spanish. Okay, thank you for watching.